You're listening to the AstroMommy Daily Horoscope, a forecast that hopes to shine a light in the dark, helping us all see where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Whether you're a first-time listener or a long-time subscriber, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you being in the AstroMommy community. I hope you enjoyed today's horoscope and card reading. If you would like to support the AstroMommy Newsletter, there are several ways to do so. Subscribe on Substack, share it with a friend, schedule a reading, check out my family's Etsy shop, Metaphysical Flamingo, or just leave a tip. Without further ado, here is the Daily Horoscope. Dancing on the shores of life, we integrate. Daily Horoscope for Wednesday and Thursday, July 26th through the 27th, 2023. Good morning, friends. Okay, so for the next few days, we are going to get major messages coming in or experience some changes in our environments or in how we think about the transformations that are occurring that are going to provide clarity and insight into this Venus retrograde. I would also like to say a happy birthday to my Leo brother whose birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday! Okay, let's get into the astrology. Today, the moon is in Scorpio and won't ingress into the sign of Sagittarius until tomorrow evening at 8:23 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday starts off with the moon in Scorpio forming a trine to Saturn in Pisces at 12:27 a.m. Then she makes a sextile to Mars in Virgo at 7:31 a.m., a sesquiquadrate to Neptune in Pisces at 12:33 p.m., and then by 1:38 p.m. Eastern Time, she opposes Jupiter in Taurus. So the moon, which represents the psychic undercurrent and emotions of the day, is first experiencing positive and harmonious aspects with both malefics, Saturn and Mars, followed by some harder, more challenging aspects to Neptune and then Jupiter, the greater benefic. The final transit of Wednesday is when Mercury in Leo perfects a quincunx to Neptune in Pisces, entering the Yod formation that is still in effect between Venus, Neptune, and Pluto, which we talked about last week. So Wednesday could feel pretty good emotionally and maybe even a little exciting. The moon trine Saturn brings up serious, stable, and controlled feelings. We could feel grounded with this energy. Then when the moon makes her sextile to Mars, we may feel inspired to take action, and there are green lights. All we have to do is move forward passionately and assertively. When the moon hits Neptune at 12:33 p.m. Eastern Time, we may feel compassionate, imaginative, and creative, and also a little uncertain as we see that we are taking steps forward, but it's still new and unknown territory. At 1:38 p.m. Eastern Time, the moon in Scorpio perfects her opposition to Jupiter in Taurus. The opposition is a 180-degree angle that is said to be the nature of Saturn, so it could represent a severe yes or no situation. You are either going to go with your feelings and do something based on your desires, or you are going to choose an action based on the bigger plan, the broader vision of what you are building and bringing together. So I really feel that this transit has to do with acting out of fear or over-emotionality, or taking the high road and acting out of generosity, a place of abundance and love. Choose wisely. We can use the energy of the moon trine Saturn to help us have a little self-control with this transit, hopefully. The last transit of Wednesday is Mercury quincunx Neptune, so we are getting messages from the divine that may be a little confusing, idealistic, or create some uncertainty. This transit begins Mercury's involvement with the dynamic Yod that has been happening all week with Venus at the apex, focusing this energy on love, relationships, and our values, and it feels fated and destined. Mercury will conjoin Venus on Thursday, bringing in important messages that will make a huge impact during this Venus retrograde. On Thursday, the moon in Scorpio forms a quincunx to Chiron in Aries at 2:17 a.m., followed by the moon making her opposition to Uranus in Taurus at 7:10 a.m. Eastern Time. So it's like there are parts of what is happening in your life that you may not want to identify with anymore. And the moon quincunx Chiron is an opportunity to look at those things, heal them, and release yourself from whatever chains these labels represent. And it could be shocking, unpredictable, and unstable as the moon perfects her opposition to Uranus. Sudden changes, breakups, or family drama can emerge, shaking things up. Then at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time, Mercury in Leo conjoins Venus in Leo, embracing the apex point of the Yod formation, the finger of God, that is pointing at relationships, love, and our values. Now with Mercury there, it's about what communications are coming in. What messages are you receiving? It's news, insights, and finally feeling like you know where you stand with all of it. And it's in Leo, so it's heart-centered. Your head has caught up with your heart. Whatever messages you receive with this transit will show you with clarity what this Venus retrograde will be highlighting. And it's this transit with Mercury which brings the most information. So pay attention to the days leading up to Thursday and the few days after Thursday. I would also expect some dramatic displays of affection, courtship, and/or confessions of love. Chivalry may also be on the table. Then it gets really interesting because up until this point, the transits seem pretty clear. We may all be feeling more stable and get some clarification and communication with people about what is going on, and then boom, the moon starts to make some interesting aspects that kind of challenge this certainty. First, at 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time, she makes a trine to Neptune in Pisces, which is nice. It represents feeling compassionate, intuitive, creative, and imaginative, but also in alignment with our spiritual selves. But then the moon in Scorpio squares Venus and Mercury, both in Leo, back to back at 5:05 p.m. and then at 5:53 p.m. Eastern Time. The moon in square to Venus and Mercury could mean conflicts with those we love, fights or miscommunications, or feeling really nervous and talking too much. The moon in Venus could also mean moodiness, disharmony, laziness, and self-indulgence. The moon in Mercury could bring about unreliable communications, travel, and people changing their minds. So it's like all the clarity we felt earlier is going to be challenged by our emotions and circumstances, and we will have to deal with these things when they come up. Then, right after the moon squares Venus and Mercury, she forms a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn at 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time, further emphasizing that deep emotions are going to come up and be intense, but thankfully it is a sextile. So it's softer, more pliable, and flexible, less harsh. It represents an opportunity for healing and spiritual growth. This last transit, coupled with the moon's trine to Neptune while she is in square to Venus and Mercury, makes me think that this is a transition point where things are going to be figured out and discussed, and it could be a little finite feeling. But there is an underlying ease to it all that feels fated and in harmony with our subconscious and our superconscious selves. At 6:38 p.m., just 3 minutes after the moon's contact with Pluto, she makes a quincunx to the North Node in Aries. So there is some separation or change of direction that is noticeable here, like changing lanes on the highway or maybe even changing freeways. 2 hours later, the moon ingresses into the sign of Sagittarius at 8:23 p.m. Eastern Time. I always love when the moon moves into Sagittarius. Out of the deep emotional realm of Scorpio, she takes flight into the fiery, optimistic Sagittarius energy, where we can take all the emotional stuff we just dredged up and looked at, and we can apply what we learned, integrating it into ourselves and the bigger picture. What are we aiming for? What lies ahead along the path? What can we get excited and fired up about and focus on for the next week that will carry us through to the next dose of inspiration that will come when the moon ingresses into Aries? For the fire signs represent the sparks of inspiration, and those sparks give us hope along our journey. Let's move on to the card for the day. What is the guidance for today? 14, Temperance. On this card, we see the Temperance Priestess dancing on the shore, a threshold where water and land mix and meet. Quote, through the rhythms of the dance, the Temperance Priestess has lost herself and found divinity in the oldest form of worship known to humanity, the sacred dance of energy, unquote. The Temperance card is about being in balance and experiencing a sense of union. It is a positive omen that means you are staying calm, sensible, and patient. You may feel a sense of control and possess an even temperament today as you navigate life's ups and downs. The Temperance card is not only about balance, but integration, synthesis, and synergy as well. It's a reminder to bring into union the opposites to create something brand new. How very fitting that we ended Thursday with the moon entering Sagittarius, because the Temperance card represents Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, quote, reminds us it is through our life visions and dreams that we fully express the artistry of who we are, as well as resolve any apparent conflict or opposition with our nature, unquote. So not only is this card about balancing and handling what is happening outside of yourself, but also about integrating and accepting all of the facets of who you are internally with optimism and faith. It's an invitation to be artistic and inspired and let the creative expression flow freely through you. Dance at the shores of life and welcome the effluent changes and intermingling of life's dualities. Be at peace with both the differences and the alchemical oneness. Let me know if this reading resonates with you in the comments. I hope this is helpful. Until Friday, AstroMommy.
Thank you for reading or listening to the Daily Horoscope. Quick links and resources can be found at the bottom of the newsletter. Today's card was pulled from the Motherpeace Round Tarot, available on Amazon. If you seek knowledge and enlightenment, the AstroMommy Newsletter may be right for you. Side effects of reading or listening to the AstroMommy Newsletter are common and include joy, jubilation, delight, happiness, gratitude, love, triumph, feeling in tune with the universe, experiencing deep insights, reflections, and contemplations, a lightened soul, a lighter step, feeling awake when others are asleep, illuminated, enlightened, having spiritual experiences, noticing repeating numbers, animals in nature, or songs on the radio that speak to you, getting vibes, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsmelliance, Feeling like you know secret language, biophilia, crying tears of joy, emotional literacy, feeling lively, stable, exalted, having an auric glow, or feeling like you woke up on the right side of the bed have all been reported. If you purchase anything through the affiliate links that I provide in the newsletters, I will make a very small commission. Thanks for listening.